Hey friends, Tuxx here. You know, the holidays are coming up pretty darn quick, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a few ideas, a couple cool little gift ideas that might be that perfect little something and that don't really break the bank either, you know? And this is definitely one of them. This is something which I got for Christmas back a year or two ago. You could go back in my Christmas queue and look and see what year it was, but I've had a lot of fun with this, and I still play this to this day. This is the Atari 2600 system from my arcade, okay? And there have been a few different versions of 2600 releases, that kind of thing, but this is the one with the notable RGB joystick. So if you look for that, I'm sure you'll have the right one, you know? But what makes this a lot of fun, okay, is not only does it include games from the 2600, the 5200, the 7800, and some Atari arcade games, but the fact that it has a micro SD slot. And what makes that so important is that it makes you easily be able to add games to this, including arcade games, very, very simply, you know? So it's type of thing, you do the flash update, you know, make sure it's updated when you get it to the newest version, and there is instructions for adding arcade games to it, but it's very simple to do. And when you do that, you can have this, you know, the entire history of arcades, you know, on this console, you know, which just make it great. But even if you don't do that, it has some amazing games on here. Just taking a look at the box here, let's flip it around to the back here. On the back here, you can see a whole bunch of games, you know, classics. You know, if you had a 2600 back in the day, I'm sure you'll recognize some of these titles here, including Activision titles like Demons to Diamonds, great game. You know, later releases like Gravatar, you know, things that were kind of put off because of the great video game crash of the 80s, you know, Major Havoc, you know, things that you don't really find a whole lot. Tempest was being developed but never released, you know, so a lot of fun, rare games on here, you know. And the fact that it includes like Sword Quest. Sword Quest was a series of games where they had this huge cash jackpot if you could solve the mystery of Sword Quest, you know, and it was 4 games. And it's the type of thing where they never really released the 4th game, you know, because of the video game crash of the 80s, you know. They only got to really 2 of them. And this includes the 3rd one and the 4th one you can have on here too. So a lot of fun. You can actually check out these classic arcade games. And what I want to do for this particular video is I want to take a look at just a couple hidden gems, okay? A couple things you can add to this system that are amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to go here. I'm just going to shoot off the TV. This is kind of raw footage, but I just wanted to show you real quick just some of my favorite little hidden gems. So let's go to the monitor. Okay, so this is definitely one of those hidden gem games. This is Radar Scope. And if you're not familiar, basically Radar Scope was what Nintendo thought was going to be the next big hit during the Pac-Man era of arcades. Okay, so Nintendo spent all this money and they doubled down thinking, oh yes, Radar Scope is going to be huge, it's more advanced than Space Invaders, and this is going to be the game. This is what everyone's going to pop their quarters in. So of course, when Pac-Man became the dominant game in arcades during that period, Nintendo, they kind of freaked out, honestly. And that's where they went ahead and converted all these Radar Scope arcade cabinets, which were already made, already paid for, had graphics on them, they're programmed, the PC boards were on them, everything was good to go. And they just weren't selling, so they switched it to Donkey Kong. So many of the arcade Donkey Kong machines out there actually were Radar Scope. So it's a fun little piece of video game history. This game definitely is kind of reminiscent of like games like, you know, Tempest, like Beam Runner, you know, games that are Space Invaders on a rail essentially. And it's a fun game. I really recommend it. It has some elements that Space Invaders didn't have, and maybe even like kind of playing off like Galaxian and Galaga and things like that a little bit. Just really good game, you know. So it's unfortunate that Nintendo don't appreciate this game. In fact, they have done their very best to erase this game from video game history. This is one of the few Nintendo arcade cabinets that never had a actual Nintendo release. There's no cartridge release for this ever officially, you know. And of course, this is being played off of the home system with a ROM, you know, with an emulator pack added to it. So anyway, that is the deal with that. It's unfortunate, but Nintendo's pride prevents them from actually releasing this great, fun little game, you know. So this is one way you can find it now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Now another game which I'd recommend from the arcades is a game called Scramble, okay? And Scramble never officially had a Nintendo release, but here in this pack here, I do happen to have the 2600, I do believe, Scramble. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Many more people know Super Cobra, which is actually the sequel to Scramble, but for some reason they don't really seem to know or remember the actual original Scramble arcade game, which is really, really a shame. During the great video game crash, this is something that was going to come out and never did. And it's very, very true to the arcade game. For being a 2600 game, this game has great fluidity, it's fast-paced, a little flickery, you know, but you're going to find that with 2600 games. And definitely kept the spirit of the arcade game. So if you want something kind of fun and challenging, fast-paced, maybe a little scary, maybe you might just make you want to wet your pants a little, this game is a fun little 2600 game. And where you might think, okay, well this looks pretty good, but it only has like one level. It actually has a lot of levels. It has all the way, like the arcade, going up to base. I will say though that when you get to the actual third phase, the difficulty is ramped up extremely difficult, I think harder than the arcade. And that might come from the controls being a little wavy. See level 2 here, this is exactly like the arcade level. Looks good. You know, of course the screen is a little choppier, you know, and the graphics a little blockier, but it really captures the essence of your arcade game. And that's a good thing. You know, now I'm going to show you one more game here, which is a favorite of mine. Let's see here. See if I can find it here. Let's see, where is it? Not yet. Star Raider, Star Fox, Star Fox. It is Star Castle Arcade, and there is a Star Castle 2600. Let me show you the 2600 one first. Just give you a little taste of this. And this is another one of those vector games that really didn't get a lot of home console play, just because it was really hard to make the vector games right on a home console time. And this game does control very quickly. It is pretty difficult. Those little things are going to kill me probably every time here. Yeah, see. But not bad. Definitely feels fast-paced. You can have some fun with this. The goal is to go ahead and shoot in here. It's kind of like Yar's Revenge. Yar's Revenge was actually kind of the home version of this game back in the day. And Yar's Revenge, of course, beloved classic. Okay, strike that. This is not the arcade version. This is a different home version. Let's see if this is better. Check it out. Oh, this is different. Looks like it has like more like Atari Asteroid graphics. I don't know if this is better or not. What do you think? I think maybe the other one... I might actually like the other one a little better. Let's see. I got the hiccups, guys. I apologize. You know, they say that if you have the hiccups, if you tell yourself hiccups are not real, that you'll trick your brain into thinking hiccups are not real. Like it's part of the Matrix or something. So hiccups are not real. Hiccups are not real. Hiccups are not real. I think it's working, guys. I'm not hiccuping, so maybe that's a wee testimonial that hiccups are not real, and you can actually figure yourself out that hiccups are not real. I've officially stopped hiccuping just by telling myself hiccups are not real. Oh my gosh, okay, so that's it, guys. So anyway, that is Star Castle, another great home game that you can get. And look, you can even put your name in. How amazing is that, huh? Okay, so there you have a couple of my favorite hidden gems from back in the day. Again, I want to apologize for the shooting off the screen. I just meant this to be a quick video. In fact, I wasn't even going to make this video, but then I was playing this today, and I thought, you know what? I should make a video on that because Christmas is coming up and I've gotten a lot of fun, a lot of joy out of this, guys. So I think someone on your Christmas shopping list or whatever may enjoy it as well. It's very possible. So if you have someone who's into classic arcade games or is into like emulation or Atari or whatever, this might be just the thing they're going to absolutely love, okay? All right, friends, I'll have a link for this right below, so be sure and click that link to get yours at the very best price. I want to thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments, like, what's your favorite classic arcade games? What games do you wish were on a home system but never made it? You know, things like Radar Scope, you know, never really on a home system, but you can play it on this, which is absolutely amazing, all right? All right, friends, hope you have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Click the link.